Hey guys, how's it going? Anthony Muthurajah here, back with a new video lesson for y'all. In today's lesson, I want to talk about soloing over a 2-5-1 progression, a major 2-5-1, and we're going to use the key of C as usual. There are many things pertaining to a 2-5 which can be pretty irritating to deal with. Okay, first and foremost, one of the things about 2-5s are that they are merely resolution points to move on to the next chord or passage or phrase or number of bars. It really depends on the context of how the 2-5 is used in a song. If you have a song like Giant Steps, it's a very different vibe versus, I don't know, Scrapple from the Apple is different. So every style of jazz has its own set of challenges when it comes to the 2-5. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take one simple phrase and then we're going to add upon it to cater to the varying rhythmic needs of the 2-5. By that I mean there are 2-5s which happen in a bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in my loop I was playing along to earlier, it's a very slow 2-5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so when I try to shred, I have to really be focused and specific because there's a lot of space to fill. So when I practice, I fumble a lot. I try to fumble actually because I don't want to get too cozy playing my usual ideas. So I try to find other sounds and other just forms of inspiration in general to push myself. Okay, the phrase we're going to use is this. Okay, this is one of the most classic 2-5-1 phrases. It has everything to it. There is arpeggios, there's scale tones and guide tones, and you hear the change happen. Okay. Now, if I take that phrase And the first thing we're going to try to do is run in the opposite direction. So instead of going up the arpeggio, we're going to go down the arpeggio starting from the 5th, which is A. Okay, A, F, D, C, down to the B, and then go up the B minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio, which is an extension of G7. Okay, so we hear this a lot. Okay, now instead of doing a B minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio, I can do a B diminished 7, which gives it the jazz. Yeah, you got to make the face too. Okay, so going up, descend, or going down, or okay. Now, needless to say, we don't just have to resolve straight on the G and hang on there for the C major 7. One of the common phrases you will hear on the descending pattern is okay. So down the arpeggio, up the diminished 7th to the G, F, then chromatic to the 3rd of C. Okay, so now these are very useful extension ideas because you have arpeggio and scale tones, but sometimes you need to elongate your phrases. So if I have a 2-5-1 that goes just it sounds very exercise-ish when you always resolve and hang on, because that's what most people tend to do. They learn 2-5-1 phrases, they resolve on one note, and they just hang out. You know, they set up camp and they just wait for the next set of 2-5-1s to show up. You can't do that because it starts to get very boring very fast. How do I know this? I used to play like this for a year at least, but it was a learning curve because it taught me more about phrasing and how to carry on phrases instead of just resolving and just, you know, building a fort. So now that's a 1 bar 2-5. Okay, how do I elongate that into 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, a bar per chord phrase? Okay, now we got to use more scale tones. So I'm going up the scale. Once I get to the 5th, I go to the 7th, to the 6th, to the 11 of D minor. Okay. Now what I can do is, since I'm on this G, I can play that 1 bar phrase that we used. So basically, if you think about it, anything you play on the 2 can be played on the 5, anything you play on the 5 can be played on the 2. So I tried to extend the idea, and then the last note of my idea ended on the G. So I decided to do the descending arpeggio idea we talked about earlier and extend it further. So okay, slowly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Right? Or so what is that? This is a very common phrase. We hear that on D minor. Right? So naturally it has that inclination towards a G. And this chromatic roll which you hear a lot in bebop. It comes from this phrase. So, or both wind up resolving on the third. Excuse me. Okay, so what I can actually do is I can resolve to the 6 from there, using the same phrase, right? So a lot of these things are interchangeable, and if you actually think about it, they're pretty vocal once you start getting into it. So take a basic skeletal idea and then try to expand it into a double length phrase, so that makes the 2/5 2 bars in length totally versus 1 bar in length. They feel different. Okay, so if I try to do this along with my loop, 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Completely different phrase which I didn't discuss. Let's try something else. These are 8th notes. Now if I try to do 16ths, what did I do there? I came down the diminished scale. Resolve on G. And then I can carry that forward. Whatever I want to from there. So I tend to find a lot more modern sounds using this approach, taking a very bebop skeletal frame or phrase and then expanding it and trying to just milk everything out of it. Everything is coming from here. Or all the Hadrian kind of vibe. Okay, and then there are some classic phrases like you hear this a lot. So if I try to play along, okay, so it's because it's twice in length, I have to wait to actually put that phrase in that subdivision. Otherwise it's 1 2 3 4. So it has this very nice. This is an extension of D minor, the F major 7. Right, so every and any idea can be taken out of this. So spend time taking just this one thing, expand, extend, and do whatever you have to just really milk it. And this is just 251, a major 251 in the key of C. So you can only imagine what happens once you start to prolong your shed into different keys and different kinds of 2/5. So I'm going to leave you with that, and that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the shed pretty soon. Peace.